Okay, great. Welcome. This is Labs Mining, and I want to help you go through certain questions that has to do with limits. Okay, so there's a question that is under discussion today that states as articulate, evaluate the following. The following it means the question might be many, but in this case, I'll just focus on one. Okay, and then the other video that I'm going to make, then I'm going to talk about the other one. Thank you. So the most important and the most imperative thing that you have to know is that when such a question is brought, you need to analyze which concept are you going to apply. So in this case, this type of limits, they are somehow different from those limits that we're doing under non-quota, or rather in first year. These limits, they would require you to apply the concept of Hospital's law. And mostly when you're applying Hospital's law states that if the fraction that you have, both the numerator and the denominator is zero, it means that is undefined, or rather that type of a limit doesn't exist. Okay, so in this case, what we're going to do is, imagine if I can replace direct, where there is x, I put 0, and where is again x there, I put 0. Definitely, this will become 0 over 0 because tan of 0 is somehow also 0, or let me say positive infinite. What I'm trying to say is, for example, if you say tangent of 0, it will give you 0. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to say. So in this case, which means you're going to have what? 0 over 0, which is not allowed under Hospital's law. Okay, so to start with, what you have to do is make sure that you copy the question the way it is: limit as x approaches 0, okay, as x approaches 0, and then you've got this x. I can recommend you to recall that tan x simply means sine x over what? Cos x. So you write the division in that way so that you can have what? The reciprocal at some point. So if this is your x, and then you say times, okay, you bring your cos on top, and then your sine will come where? Down. So when you have that, then what you are having is a reciprocal of what? Sine over cos. Okay, so provided you have answered that, then you can just multiply direct, then you're going to have x, cosine of x over sine of x. Okay, provided you have been given the limit this side where x approaches what? 0. So in that case, what you have to do is, you need to know that if you replace again direct 0 there, okay, despite cos 0 being 1, but that 0 in front will do what? Will affect the numerator part. Okay, so what you have to do is, you need to try by all means to write it in this way. Okay, so what I'm simply saying is that you say limit, okay, as x approaches 0. When you have that, make sure that, I repeat, make sure that you say let x over sine x be alone, like that. Okay, you put a dot, you open the bracket this side, you say cos x over 1 as well, it become independent. So when you make these as independent functions, then what you're simply saying is that you have got this part and you've got also what? That part. Okay, so take note on this. Over the key was just about that. Okay, the key was just about that, because what will happen is, you are going to distribute these limits throughout. I mean something like this. Okay, so limit as x approaches 0, specifically for x over sine x times again limit as x